stream. And hopefully we're rocking and rolling. Oh, what the hell am I doing? Jeez. Jeez, Ronnie, what are you doing, bro? Alright, so we should be back, and this should be public on the Ronny Haze account. Is that how the screen looks? Why does it look like that? Okay, I gotta scroll up to see it all. Yeah, so we should be back on the Ronny Haze account. I'll pop out the chat here in a second. Actually, I could pop that out right now. If you are just joining up, bear with me. I gotta set up some of the links so some people can join. If you haven't noticed, this isn't the map channel. If you just follow the link, this is actually the this is actually the yeah, I'm posting a link in Patreon. Yeah, right here. This is the Ronny Haze account, so if you want to, you can subscribe to this one. I'm going to be doing some videos on this account that will obviously be exclusive to this account only. Again, I like the one account, multiple videos, yada yada yada, because it's channel, multiple shows. However, it is really just easier for the time where, because God forbid I post 3 Ronny Haze videos back to back. It doesn't matter if it's in the course of 3 days or over the course of a week. You know, half the website will start to think that the Walking Dead videos are gone and that's all we're doing. Sometimes, you know, you want to take 2 weeks off of doing Walking Dead videos and you want to just cover a couple movies. 80% of your channel will start to think that you're done with The Walking Dead, and it gets a little tricky. So I have the Doomsday Kingdom YouTube channel for only Doomsday Kingdom updates. We're going to be doing that soon, transitioning over there. But map is still going to have the main ones. And then same thing for Ronny Haze. It's going to be a lot of the different videos that I don't know if they belong on map, if they fit entertainment related. And then obviously same thing for the map. I'm going to try to focus more on the after shows, the reviews, the in-depth reviews, stuff like that on the map channel. So hopefully I'll have everything pretty consistent in the next couple weeks and I can stretch it out. I've seen some good comments too, some good suggestions for the Patreon stuff. I think the one I'm most likely gonna go with and try first is, now I can't find the that doesn't matter. The one I'm going to try first is setting a specific date and time twice a week for now. See how that works. Come on, paste. Paste. Live. So give me 2 minutes and we'll start the conversation. Yeah, live. Second channel. Second channel. Alright, so we should have at least 20 people show up because I'm going to post this here and on Twitter. Live now, bitches. Just kidding. I should do that though. The world's gone so PC you can't even joke around anymore. Live now, second channel. Tweet. Alright. Yeah, twice a month for the Patreon stuff. And like I said, it'll most likely be, you know, the first Wednesday of every month and the first, you know, and the last Wednesday of every month. Not Wednesday, but it's going to be like the first and the last. I don't think Wednesday, because that's Walking Dead Day for the comic book, so that day might be hard to get both. You know, something like a Thursday would be good, because I gotta cater it around when the Walking Dead reviews are coming. Because when the Walking Dead drops this year, I'm gonna try to do something a little bit different, but also really interesting in my opinion. So when the Walking Dead drops, the new season 8 is gonna drop episode 1. What I'm gonna do then is the after show immediately after it airs, between an hour to 2 hours of us chit-chatting. First 15 minutes of the after show will be my first impression review. Then after that, the next day or maybe the day after that, depending on how long it takes to edit the in-depth review, I'm going to do the in-depth review to follow the after show. And then for those who just want the first impression review, and I know it's odd because they can just watch the first 10 minutes or 15 minutes of the live and then just stop watching. But there's a lot of people who want me to separate it. And I'm just going to try my best to separate it. Even though, again, they're sitting there waiting until like Wednesday for me to post it, when all they need to do is just watch it live and then stop watching it. So we'll get it figured out though. So that's it for that. Yeah, I'm taking suggestions. The Walking Dead covers is something that I definitely want to get back on. If I get everything squared away where I have the Doomsday Kingdom stuff just for the mini updates, and that way I don't have to make it a big event. I don't like to put like tiny Doomsday Kingdom videos, like 1 minute, hey guys, this is what's up with the channel or the website, because I feel like if it's going on map, it has to have a decent chunk of info, which is silly. So that's why I have the Doomsday Kingdom. Then for the Ronny Haze, I have a lot of stuff, ideas that might not fit on map. Some of them will, sure, and then some of them it's going to be like if it's something random or different or weird, and I just want to post it, even if it's like a 30-second skit or whatever, I could just use the Ronny Haze channel as one where there's no expectations. I'm just put it up there because I want to. Have you thought of making an actual sized feeding post, real life yeah, I actually talked to James. Is that where you got that from? Because I told James I'm doing it for the first convention I go to. I'm getting in touch with my uncle, and we're gonna make a foam. I was gonna do wood, but it'd probably be too heavy, so I'm gonna make a foam prop wooden feeding post, so that way when we go to conventions you can kneel down and put your hands in the cuffs and get a picture taken at the feeding post, at where we're doing the signing. If it's possible to have the room and set it up that way. I don't care if we need less room for the table and have that. I want something where people can kneel down and get a picture taken at the convention. I think that's different and neat. So yeah, the map mail, the comic collection. Yo, bro, the comic collection that's another one I don't even know how to get back to it, because I got a stack. I haven't made a comic collection video in like 9 months, so I got a stack of comics like this. Yeah, probably like that. Yeah, map mail, comic collection. The map mail, I got to get back on it. I have some stuff, the Munch Pack, the Bam Box, Horror Block, the 1-Up box. I got tons of videos that we have been recording all of these, but between working the channel and everything going on with the AdSense having to work more than I can work on the channel, the videos are piling up. If I had someone to just edit them and put them out, I could probably get them out. But like I said, I'm gonna be back to getting them out. All right, so I got that on Twitter and I got that on Facebook. So live at second channel, boom, Ronny Haze Tier 5 live stream public. There we go. Okay, so, and we got it on Patreon. Yo, yeah, life-size feeding post, great idea. Oh, it's gonna be the bomb. Yo, that's actually what gave me the idea for the mini feeding post. If you can see, the mini ones I'm gonna be making and selling as like a little collector's piece. The original idea was a life-size one to sign at conventions, and then I had the thought, since I can't do a life-size one to take everywhere else, I would do a miniature one I can take and put on display. And once I told a couple people about that, every single person I told, like 5 people right in a row, they were like, make one to buy, make one to buy. So I was like, oh shit. Because they're pricey. It's $15 just for the handcuffs. Unless you guys know where I can buy handcuffs that's this big for cheaper. I'm all over it. Hey man, do something special with Doomsday Kingdom, like a video that explains the process of comic creation. Love to watch such a thing. That's coming. That's already. Listen, I did some recordings already about putting together the comic stuff. I took some pictures. I took some videos of me wrapping up certain packages. Putting the stuff inside the signature series, just showing it off a bit. I just got to sit down and edit them. I'm going to do like, I'm going to put it together where it has a little bit of music, it has a little bit of different things, like me talking over some scenes, explaining some things, like a video diary. Sometimes it'll seem like that, going over the process. I'm going to be sitting down going over my writing process, and then maybe even we can get James in on it, and he can talk about the art process and the back and forth between a writer and artist, because there's things you got to pick up on. Absolutely. And I've screwed up on this, like in the beginning. I might say, you know, the writer comes up to a field and, you know, you have this, this, and this, and I might totally leave off or not mention something different, you know, and then he sends in an example idea, and it's like, oh, no, 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 the house needs to be in one piece. I think the original draft James drew, the house was like in pieces. It like half a wall was missing. It was dilapidated like hell. And I put, you know, dilapidated, but I meant only the roof was caved in because there's a hole in the roof. So yeah, it's neat. What else we got here? Hard to please everyone. Yeah, it is. I have thoughts about making an actual size meal. I do like that idea. So yeah. I'd love to know the ins and outs. Yeah, I like the ins and the out type videos. And one reason why I'm really motivated to do the behind the scenes, the how to make the comic stuff, is because when I was searching for them, it's so damn difficult to find. I don't even know how to put it. There's tons of people putting on YouTube how to make a comic. There's a ton of people up there. But the only problem is a lot of them are artists only, or it's, you know what I'm saying? So it's them doing it, and that's fine. But I was looking for the, what do you do? Once you, okay, I wrote it, my artist writes it, then what do you do? What's the process? And there's nothing on the internet about that. There's people getting into the business, speculating. There's other people who are in the business, and they're talking, but the way they talk, you have to go through gatekeepers and shit, which is not true. It's not true. Listen, it's bullshit. It's not true at all. You need a platform, absolutely. Without Make a Path Presents, Doomsday Kingdom probably never would have sold it all the way it did. But needing a gatekeeper is bullshit. If Doomsday Kingdom continues to grow, which I think eventually fans will get stressed out because of the shipping. I think that long run, it's not a good business strategy. We would have to, if we stuck with online only, we would have to move to volumes only. That way you can release the, and then it's like as much time and yada 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 you put into making a volume. Is it cost effective that way if it's only volume only? But if, just if, the customer base stayed the same from issue 1 to 2, or even grew, Doomsday Kingdom would be supported based off of you guys alone. We don't need gatekeepers. We don't need anyone. We wouldn't. I mean, essentially, we need them in order to save the customers from having to pay for shipping. You know what I mean? But if the customers were like, we don't care, we'll pay the shipping, we literally don't need any publisher. We don't. Or distributor for that matter. We could do everything just based off of the issue #1 sales. All right. I did not hit her. It's bullshit. It's not true. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark. Ronnie, what do you think? What is after comic? Question mark. What's the next step? Animation, movie, TV show? Can you explain the process that you have in your mind? Just be honest, man. We're true fans. There is nothing. There is nothing. Without you guys, there's no next step. There's nothing. And that's as honest as it gets. Even if I was to plan, which I do have in the back of my mind in the binder when I make the plans for the comic, I do have what would be a gaming idea if someone came up, game developer came up and said, oh yeah, we want to make a video game off Doomsday Kingdom. I do have a rough idea of what I would make using these characters and what I would make using different characters. You know what I'm saying? The original idea was to have a book, well, I didn't even think about a comic book in the beginning. A book, a movie, a video game, whatever. I had something else now, I can't remember it. But there's like 4 different things and 4 different stories all taking place in Doomsday Kingdom. They all connect in one specific way. That was one of the earlier ideas. So I do write down these ideas for the video game. I do write down the ideas for even if figures were going to get made. Which characters at first, like what would be my demands as far as articulation, even accessories. And these aren't like they must be, my demands must be met. These are in my opinion, what I think would be like advice. You know, if someone said, oh, well, what figures, what accessories, or what this and that, you don't have to do it like that. It's just things I come up with as I'm putting it together. As for what's next, again, it all depends on you guys. If you guys support it, in a few years, you know, it might become the video game. Yes, this is live. It might become an independent movie or a movie. But I'm saying that meaning it'll be years. I'm telling you right now, if Doomsday Kingdom blew up and it was hotter than The Walking Dead as a comic, which is, and I'm using this as a massive reach, even if it was hotter than The Walking Dead as a comic, it might still take at the very minimum like 4 or 5 years to get out there as a show or a movie from this point forward. So right now, I get the ideas, but I'm focused on let's just making the comics succeed. So I don't overwhelm myself with all that. Because right now I think it's difficult enough just getting the comic going. Considering there's some pitfalls with selling a comic, like selling it just at $4 with the comic only, like that killed us. Like that hurt. That's just something you got to do though. And that's another thing, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think we would be able to maintain that constantly for every issue. The bulk order helps because then we get like that 50% or 50 cents off each issue for the bulk orders. But as it stands, once you do your pre-order, anything after that, like the variants, they cost more. They cost dollars more per issue because you're not making as much. Yeah, second prints, they're going to cost more. Second print will cost us more than $4 just to make. So it's rough. You're like, ah, oh, damn. All right. Mark Scott said a screenplay. Yeah, screenplay is something that I tweak around with. I play around with. The original issue number 1, what you're seeing, is actually in the novel. It's 2 different scenes. The writer's scene is supposed to be no dialogue at all. He cusses out the prisoner once. There's no dialogue in that scene. In the novel, there's a discussion that happens afterwards, or the original novel. So once the writer's captured, the Guardians, as he's talking to the Guardians, which is not their name, it's just a name that's easier to identify them with. That's what I call them. Once he talks with them, that's in the second scene, or the second chapter, so to speak, in that section. For the screenplay idea, I was like, man, you know, it would be better to have this playing out as a voiceover as you're seeing, like, combine the scenes. Honey, please turn that down a tad. And get in bed. No, like, put yourself to sleep, kid. I'll come and get you. Don't play games. Have you got Oblivion yet? The new Kirkman comic? Do you think he'll bring it to TV? Oblivion's not coming out for a couple months, I believe. So I'm definitely interested. I'm definitely interested to check it out. Sci-fi is tricky with me. I love sci-fi. Like, I think I love horror the most, but sci-fi it's either a hit or a miss with me. Absolutely. And it's rough to stretch that imagination. When I seen Oblivion, I got excited though, because I'm thinking, you know, post-apocalyptic mixed with Stranger Things. Come on, it has that vibe. Not the 80s vibe, but think about the fact that the zone is kind of like the Upside Down, but not really, not at all. I'm just saying it's the same space, but it's apocalyptic now in that one area. So I got that vibe, so I was pretty excited. Yeah, Oblivion is out in March, so yeah, that's a while away. How many people have read your partial novel or partial screenplay? Just family? No, not many at all. I don't even think family has read it. I put out some snippets online, some that I tweaked, some that I summarized a little to put them up on the Facebook page, but no one's read it. I don't know. I used to like write something and have people check it out, but after a while I started writing so many different things, and Doomsday Kingdom, again, it was a project that was originally in different pieces. Originally pulling inspiration from Resident Evil, it was completely different. A big chunk of it took place in like an underground tunnel lab system. Imagine like a mansion underground. And then there was this huge, I remember like just this long tunnel thing with multiple doors, and they were all intertwining. It was like a maze. And that was a huge chunk of the original, which is nothing at all like what it is today. So it's rough. It's like, over the years I would just be having people read random different stuff, and it would keep changing. So I never gave it to anyone to read. Kirkman came up with a 14-issue comic called Battle Pope. He published it in his own publishing company. Can you do that and take Doomsday Kingdom to Image? What do you think? Well, we're thinking about it. One thing we have to do is show the difference. We have to show how it's different. We can't come out and say, I don't think Image would take it, and I don't think Skybound would take it. Matter of fact, I wouldn't even blame them if they purposefully avoided it, in all honesty. If we came up to them and said, hey, we have a zombie, story, that I don't think they would take it. I know they don't do it now, but I know years ago they would straight up tell you, we will not take a zombie comic. The Walking Dead got so popular, they started posting in the back of the Image comics, we want your solicitations, we want to see what you can do. And then there was a big write-up, do not bring us anything that has zombies in it. They don't want it. For Skybound, now here's the thing where it gets tricky, Alex. You would think that. You would think, you would think that. And that's what I thought. Do 6 issues. And you know what they're going to say? Now no one's going to buy it. You already sold 6 issues. You're already yada, yada, yada. We have already talked to people who were loving the idea, but really disappointed that we already released issue number 1 and it sold so well. Because in their mind, they're thinking, now you won't sell as well. Now there's 1,500 people who won't buy it because they already bought it online. And my thinking was, that's not true. That's not true, because those people have the super limited version. Now, if we re-release issue number 1 in stores, it's going to be coming from a different printer. It's going to be coming published by, a publishing company, and we'll have a different write-up in the back. We'll change the back to have yada, yada, yada. It'll have a different cover, and I thought the same thing. I said, listen, James, we're going to do a volume, which is 5 issues, and then we're going to put up where the story's going to go. You're going to sketch the monsters and stuff and show them how it's different than The Walking Dead. You're going to show the stages of the zombies, and then the world. Give them an idea of the world without overwhelming them. Just a quick boom, 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 okay? Then when they see that, then I'm thinking, connect that or combine that with the interest. Here's how many people buy it. Here's how many people look forward to it. Here's how many people watch the videos about it. Here's, show them the comments and the statistics, analytics of the people who would be probably interested based off of just this. And then imagine if we can promote it, based off of being so hot as a YouTuber turned comic book writer, and being so hot that it now becomes a published comic. I think more people would be interested in that. It would turn more heads than just randomly popping up and being like, oh, here's the thing, The first 6 years, no concern. Hey, Ronnie, so glad Doomsday Kingdom is selling so well. Email me through Patreon about Pittsburgh. Distribution was on a 25-day nonstop work stretch and couldn't follow up. Listen, Mama Otter, that's not a problem at all, because right now we can't even send it out to comic book places. And the reason for that is because we don't have the money. We don't have the money to pay it out. We're trying to get issue 2 and 3 out. Right now, if we wanted to get issue 1 out to distributors, we would have to go and buy more copies, for example. And let's say we went out and bought more copies. Since we're only buying a little bit, we're paying over $4, or let's say $4 a copy. On top of that, we're paying for the shipping, because that's not included in the printing price. We're paying for the shipping to send it to me, and then I got to unpack it and then take out the $25 to send to the comic company that maybe where you're located, and then $50 to that other comic company. So now on top of the printing price, the shipping price to send it here, now we're paying the shipping price to send it there. By that time, we're already way over what a comic is selling for. Then the comic shop wants to make money off it. And essentially, we'd have to just give it to them for free, so we'd be in the hole a ton. So right now, it's a tricky situation with getting it into the comic shops. We need a distributor. Distributing it ourselves we would probably need to do some kind of event to raise up funds, in all honesty. But for right now, we don't know if we have some kind of breakaway success with issue 2 and 3 and something opens up, an opportunity opens up. I read that a few years ago on the site. Yeah, and you know why? It's because The Walking Dead got so hot, it revitalized everyone's interest in zombies. And I'm sure there was a handful that thought, oh, I could cash in on zombies, you know. You know. I'm looking forward to Stranger Things. Oh, I can't wait. I am so excited for that. It's not even funny. Almost looking forward to it as much as The Walking Dead. I'm looking forward to both The Walking Dead and Stranger Things on an equal level, man. Arton says, I wish you could come up with another title, not zombies, like something else. In that way you could gain more fans and then you can move to any comic company. That simple. I agree. Title is very important. I absolutely agree. I'm not lying. I still think to this day some of the original titles were my favorites, but I can't pick them. The two top contenders for the original title, it's Dead in the Water, because it's too closely related to The Walking Dead. I'd never used them. Never in a million years. Doomsday Kingdom was a chapter title that I liked for such a long time, and it was one of the longest ones that always stayed relevant. It always stayed strong, but a little bit different. And I know that just the kingdom being in the title, it's iffy for some people. Maybe a little too sci-fi. I mean, the kingdom, you think of kings and this, that, and a third. But the more and more I was writing the story and the more it was evolving and the more I got into the story, after a while, it fits in such a perfect way. I couldn't not title it that. You know, I couldn't not do it, you know. But if you wanted to know, the top place title for the longest time was Us and the Dead. That's it. And it was going to pay homage to season 1. Rick Grimes told Merle was flipping out on the rooftop. And Rick Grimes said, it's just us and the dead. I'm just a man trying to get to his family, and it's just us and the dead. And originally it was kind of like an homage. Oh, that'll be like a, you know, comic book comes out, and I have this open letter. You'll understand it when you read it. I have an open letter we're releasing for issue 2, so you'll get it better then. But I thought that was cool. But you can't. I gotta distance it as much as I can. I gotta distance it from The Walking Dead. That's why we have zombies that eyes leak out instead of having white eyes like the Walking Dead comic. We have the different stages of zombie, because originally I refused to put anything different. It was just straight zombies. But now we're doing stages since The Walking Dead is popular. We need those differences. And the other one was Dead Inside. Dead Inside was a chapter title because one of the people originally in one of the old scripts was having a discussion about whether the people are alive or dead, because again, in stage 1 it's hard to tell if you are because possibly a stage 1 zombie's heart still beats. It's possible. You'll have to find out in issue 3. But the idea is someone asks and the person's like, no, they're dead inside. Once it passes a point, you know, they're dead inside no matter what. So that was the chapter title that was a contender for the series title. Once The Walking Dead started nonstop with the Don't Open Dead Inside, which is incredibly genius. I even had a sticker for the longest time on my binder that had look, Don't Open Dead Inside. And this was my original Doomsday Kingdom binder, because again, I had like a list of top contenders for titles. Also on the handcuffs, a friend of mine who writes S&M romance has tiny handcuffs in her swag bags. We'll find out where she gets them. No. When I say, oh, well, no, okay, swag bags. Yeah, when I say tiny, I mean like tiny. They need to be the size of a 1/6 scale figure, like a Barbie doll size. Yeah, Barbie doll size. I should look into that. It's got to be something, because these are real little handcuffs for the expensive figures. Try getting your comic printed in China. It's way cheaper. You can get a sample print to see if you like it or not. You could probably get it for between 25 cents to $1.25 a copy. Just look it up. Alibaba. I'll look that up. I'll definitely look that up. I wanted to go with, especially for the first off, I wanted to go with, well, I could probably check the reviews and stuff. But the last thing I wanted to do was collect money from the pre-orders, order the first run of issue number 1, and something gets screwed up with China. Next thing you know, I took the money and don't have the comics. You know, like, I take a lot of pride. And look, there's been a lot of YouTubers that collect the money. There's been a lot of people with GoFundMe's and all this other bullshit. Like, they collected thousands of dollars and did nothing with it. Like, we collected thousands of dollars and we sent out hundreds and hundreds of orders. And there was a couple that were returned. There was a couple that didn't have correct addresses. There was one that a mailman bent in half like a bastard. But as of right now, I don't know if there's any lingering in customs. We haven't heard any complaints yet. But there was one guy. It was lingering. But they got it, though. The point is they got him. That's hundreds of orders, thousands of dollars. Everyone got their product. You know what I'm saying? For the most part. We still got some restock orders. We might have a couple international that's taken a little while to get there. But so far, I mean, I take great pride in that. A lot of YouTubers have taken money and screwed something up, you know? The Brazen Skulls. The chemistry you and James have is really awesome. Release was incredible. Congrats, bud. I appreciate that. Thank you. Really great, awesome release. You corrected yourself. What's up, Bashing Skulls? What was I reading? Will there be a hardcover or paperback volume 1 for Doomsday Kingdom? It'll be paperback. Same structure as Walking Dead or any other Image. I'm basing it off of the Image, you know, because that's the only company I read right now. I refuse to read Marvel. I refuse to read DC. And it's simple. I'm a simple man. I won't read a comic book if there's ads in the middle of the comic. If you put anything in there that interrupts the story, I'm not giving you money. Plain and simple. I don't even care if I sound like a dick on that. You put the ads in the back of the comic or I won't touch it. So I stick with Image. What Image does is they'll release a soft cover volume and then a hardcover book which contains 12 issues or 10 to 12 or 8 to 12. I know Southern Bastards only has 4 issues in their volume. Then again, I think they only sell them for $10. The Walking Dead has 6 in their volume. I want to do 5 in the volume and then 10 in the book. And then again, that'll be soft cover and then hardcover. Ronnie, when will we have a Map Entertainment Company? I know you created it in order to create a brand or franchise. What we as the fans of a fandom company can do, would love to hear your idea. Well, you know, it was... in my opinion, MAP is already established and it's running. This is it. This is, you know, the beginning of the MAP Entertainment Company. That is the whole purpose of starting the channel. As far as what can the fans do, we were going to do it. This year was the year. We had everything set up. Everything was ready to rock and roll. And we were going to start incorporating the viewers in on projects. And I'm telling you, losing, I'd say at least 90-95% of the ad revenue overnight. We're talking, everyone started talking about ad revenue, and I'm like, I'm good. A couple days go by, I'm still good. I'm going to beat this. 2 weeks go by, I'm good. One day, it dropped like to nothing, to $200. It went straight down to $200, and I'm thinking, that's weird. Maybe it didn't count something, and it stayed there for 8 months. I think we've been on it. It stayed at $200, maybe $250 less. I think like $198 it dropped down to. It stayed, and we're talking. I have a few videos during that time that got 1 million views in 2-3 days. Normally, that would be it. That video would finance MAP a good chunk. I'd get a video that makes 1 million views. Next thing you know, I'm like, oh man, I might make, you know, easy $1,000 off of that. Easy. Just off of that. We're talking, I get this video, gets almost 1 million views. I think it had like 800,000 views in the first like 3 days. I went up like $5 maybe. And the video said it was making like 32 cents a day. Something like that. Which is ridiculous. So, long story short, the ad apocalypse just ruined all plans I had. which is I get furious about. But it's the same strength. I think, you know what, Doomsday Kingdom's doing really well. We're still going to do it, but instead of doing it this year, it's in 2018. Literally, this whole year got jammed up hard with that ad revenue because I was going to use that to finance the other products or the other projects we got going on. But as far as members of the Map family, if you want to prepare yourself or look into it, it's basically doing the work and making a network of people. If you want to, if this is rough because there's people that you're going to work on projects, you have things like you have your own website, you have your own YouTube channel, and this is a rough explanation of the idea, but one thing I want to make really clear is we are going to be looking for people in the fan base to do projects. At the same time, if it's somebody who it looks like they just want to do a project or two just to promote their channel, I refuse to work with that person. I'm talking about working with a network of people. They keep their own thing. We don't want to network like on YouTube, how people take money off your channel. That's not what I'm talking about at all. Not at all. We don't want to take a percentage off what you make. We don't want to do this and this. We're looking for contributors, like how websites have a website and then everyone contributes for articles and reviews and stuff like that. We're looking for contributors, and the idea is we want people to stick around and grow a name as a contributor. We don't want them coming here contributing for like a month or two and then being like, okay, I got 5,000 subs now, and then leaving. We want people, like, you could do your own thing too, but we're looking for contributors to build a name where people know, oh, I know that, you know, that Eddie dude on the Matt family has this blog or this post or this thing. They build a trust. They build a what's the word I'm looking for? They know where to go for that. Like if you review a show that I won't go anywhere near, Z Nation, you love Z Nation, you review that, you're coming to the Map, whatever it is, for you, you know, not Ronny Haze, for you. But like I said, it's rough because it lost all the financing on that. Alex, wait, Ronnie, oh yeah, Alex, it light a fire in my soul when someone bends a comic. People who do that should burn in hell. I agree. Same, I only read Image except for the 4-part War of the Worlds. Yeah, I didn't go near that one. High Q, a Map entertainment company would be dope. I got a few TV and movie stories I'm working on, sci-fi, and I got a dope zombie story that originates in Antarctica. See, that's the bomb. That's stuff on... If Map gets up and running and it's a couple years into it and we can actually finance a little mini independent like web series on something, and I mean it too, like legit, like that's the direction it's going, where we have legit a little web series, whether it's half an hour, 45 minutes, whether we have 5, 20 minutes web series shows, whether it's just a neat idea where someone comes up and they say, you know, I'm good with computers, I'm doing my own editing thing, whoop-de-whoop, I have this idea, we bring in other contributors that can help, you know. It's pulling together an army of creators that want to come together and get a chance to get their hands wet, get their hands dirty, and do a project, something they could even put on a resume later on as something they worked on. And again, you know, there's a company called Oats Studios. I know nothing about them except for the other day I ran across their YouTube channel, and it looks like it's a company that's in the industry that is making these really wildly amazing just mini movies, like a 7-minute movie, and there's different parts to them. If it's weird, if you watch that, you'll have an idea, except for it's completely different. But you'll see what I mean. It's not attached to movies. They release this clip because they go, I have this idea for a monster in the future, and it's not a movie. As far as what I can tell, it's not from a show. They literally even get like Dakota Fanning. She's a actress, a young actress. I don't think she's been anything in for a while yet, but she did this little role. It's like a 7-minute video, but it's a mini movie. It looks like a real clip from a real movie. And again, I don't think it's a real movie. I think they made it just for the YouTube channel. That is high end, but that is the direction that I want Map to be in eventually, where we're making our own stuff. And it looks like it could be something from an actual movie, but it's us creating it. You know, it's fans creating content for fans, you know. Ah, crack my back. But and that's the weird thing. It's not just that too. Like we have a section with the entertainment. Like if you just want to review the Z Nation, you can go to the map website and be a contributor to the So we'll get it up and running. I mean, that's the ultimate end goal. So we'll get there. Wait. Matt, entertainment community. Okay. Do you think you might throw some Walking Dead or other horror Easter eggs into Doomsday Kingdom? Yeah. Easter eggs, definitely. I was just thinking of a funny one. Just the other day I was thinking of this real funny one where Tristan would walk up. He hears, help me, and he walks up, and there's a situation where there's a girl with her back to him, and he goes, it was going to be different, but you guys know where I'm getting at, where he goes, excuse me, like, are you okay? He helps because she's yelling help, and he goes, little girl, to get, like, are you there? And it's a Easter egg, or it's a play on The Walking Dead, where he walks up in episode 1, little girl. We do have different Easter eggs like that. There's a person that was killed, and there's a screwdriver in their eye. It's not a zombie, it's a regular person that was just killed, and it's not, it's a legit, it's a legit crime. It's not a zombie, you know. It's a legit crime that happens, and as a funny Easter egg, there's going to be a screwdriver sticking in his eye because of the RV walker. So we have little Easter eggs in there, but and some other stuff too. In Doomsday Kingdom, if you like Easter eggs, I have an Easter egg to the Predator, Aliens, The Walking Dead, obviously. I'm definitely sneaking something in for like George Romero and his Night of the Living Dead, stuff like that. As a matter of fact, there is something for the old zombies. There's one of the most iconic old zombie shots that is, in my opinion, perfectly done. I know it's my comic, but it's perfectly done because it's realistic within this world. A lot of people go, how will zombies crawl out of the ground? Like in Resident Evil, how are they infected? How did they claw out of the casket? I have a scene I was, in my opinion, skillfully able to write where a zombie can come up out of the ground, and you're going to be like, I know why. I know how it was able to do that. You know, because we got around the coffin stuff. I got around the being dead before. Check this out. It's coming. It's not until like issue 7, but still, it's coming. But everything I grew up on that was like inspirational or something that I clicked with, there's a Easter egg to Willow. Look that up. That's an old fantasy movie. I grew up on that with Val Kilmer and stuff like that. So we have lots of Easter eggs to different things I watch. Some are tiny. Some are real small. You might not even notice it, like in the background, or a line of dialogue that's said, or just, I don't know, different. But yeah. Anyway, map entertainment. Do you think you throw just up late playing hockey and trying bad combo? What? You said you wanted me to vape because it's sexy as fuck? Okay, fine. I wonder if the ad apocalypse is intended to drive people to YouTube Red. It possibly is, because the only money I was making that whole 9 months was from YouTube Red. That didn't go down. You know, that was the only thing pulling in. But here's the tricky part, though. On one hand, I'm like, I have YouTube Red. I love it. I'll never go back. I'll never go back. Not only is there no ads, on top of that, I am constantly downloading videos that I want to watch later. And I find myself waiting in line doing some bullshit at a store or a doctor's appointment or anywhere where you wait. And I'm like pulling out my phone. I got my headset in, you know, and I'm constantly chilling there with something to watch because of YouTube Red. And like I said, I'll never go back. But the thing with YouTube Red is the money was such an extent to where you were getting way more money off of YouTube when the analytics compared to YouTube Red. Now, either you make less with YouTube Red or less people have it. So that's what's tricky trying to figure out. I do proud that I'm a fan of MAP. I appreciate that. But I want more like exclusive projects, comics, shorts, TV shows. I wanted to make massive money, but honestly, I think you need some more years to go. Oh, yeah. No, bro, this is not something we're doing tomorrow. Even when I said we're doing it this year, I didn't mean we're filming like a legit short that has production and all. Like, this is something where in my mind I'm thinking we'll be there in 5 years at a certain point, 10 years at a certain point, to where the really high end long, that's what I'm thinking. When I said this year, I mean we're starting it. As well as far as pulling in the people, the contributors and all that. Trust me, I've spent maybe not that long, easily over a decade reading every single insider business book. I even read 2 giant books on music engineering and the music industry, just because I was curious on that. And I read every single movie industry book that was out there. I do get rusty as hell, you know, because I started reading those books when I was like 14. And there's a ton of stuff I forget. And I even catch myself going, oh, I knew that. How did I forget that? Sometimes when I rewatch stuff, or if someone else talks, it clicks. I'm like, my God, I knew that. But yeah, trust me, years going, yeah. But that doesn't mean that the stuff we start making now, like once we start pulling people and making these mini projects, that doesn't mean that stuff won't be entertaining or enjoyable until so that's where I'm thinking of it. We're going to start out small, but we're still going to enjoy it right now. And then years down the line, that's when we get the bigger projects, the more, yeah, it's going to take work, man. It really will. Take a walk with me. Do you care that the parallel of Rick in episode 1 and Carl in episode 1 is unrealistic? No, I don't care. I'm heavy into realism, and I've seen a few comments where people are really bothered about that. It's not realistic for anyone to walk in the same way, and I agree. It's not realistic at all. However, Daryl punching Negan is so unrealistic, it's jumping the shark. That's how unrealistic it is. There's no way you're going to convince me it's not. He bled out, no pressure on the wound, nothing. He's bleeding out. He got shot through the shoulder. Even if it missed every bone, it cleanly went through. Everything I even looked up as far as wounds and all that, it would be a massive bruise this big, incredible swelling, maybe even infected, and it would be just burning hot fire all the way around. He might not even lift his arm. It'll feel like it's broken, let alone swing and punch and get it as if he was perfectly fine. So if people are okay with the unrealistic wound inconsistencies, then Carl and Rick shouldn't be a thing, in my opinion. I'm not bothered by it. No, I didn't see Baby Driver. I'm really interested in seeing it, though. John Hamm is in that. When you read your comic, now that it's released, is there anything you would have changed or learned for the future from it? Oh, yeah. I am constantly. And this goes back to an old quote that I read, and I don't know who said it. A screenwriter said it. And it goes, you never finish a script. You just stop working on them. And I'm that type of writer. If there's a script in front of me, I will constantly tweak different things on it, especially the dialogue. The dialogue is something I'm always trying to play with and get it just right, especially getting the different sounds of the characters and stuff like that. Or even writing something and committing to something that seems clunky at first, but I'm trying to have it sound as if these characters are saying it, because our dialogue in real life is clunky. It's clunky as shit. And I would rather it be realistic and clunky than smooth and poetic and, you know, extremely well written, because that's not the realism I want to go for. I want people to be stuttering every now if they're nervous or they don't know what to say or yada yada yada. I don't want it to be smooth and poetic. One thing, for example, that I would personally change is I was a little selfish with the back, the second to last page. There's a block of text. I did that because I hate when comic books have a good chunk of dialogue. It's not the character speaking, but it's words. Well, it is, but it's a voiceover. It's off screen. So there's a big chunk of text, and I think I'm in the minority. I want it all at once, and I want to read it and get it over with. I can't stand when a comic book on one page in one spot makes the same character talking, and they separate it for no reason other than to give the reader a break, and they separate it into 5 blocks. I can't stand it. I get like, it's a massive pet peeve. I get legitimately pissed just that why would you separate it? It's one big chunk. Let me read it, you know? I'm not an idiot. I can read the damn thing in one sitting. That's what I'm doing. So I did that, but I found out quickly that I'm in the minority. I don't think anyone likes that big little chunk at the end. But for me, that's my preference because I get pissed when comic writers do it differently. That sounds awesome. Can't wait. Oh, I can't wait either. But story-wise, there's not much. You would get the same thing. The Rider defeating Post, the Guardians, the Prisoner, the trap set by the Skullman. You would get the same thing. It would be tweaked as far as minor stuff, really minor stuff. You should do a short read of your comic for us, like the first 4 pages. I'm doing a full read of that. We're doing a commentary when issue 3 comes out, and we're doing 2 and 3 together, so 3 will come out and yada yada yada. But we'll do that. We'll do that definitely. You know what? If you do best, if we support, we ourselves can be an industry. We can create one. That's the idea for Megapath Presents. That's why I want to pull in people. I did a whole video on this. Whenever you get time, if you're interested in that, you can check it out. It's on the Map channel. And it's the idea about us fans creating new content. Hollywood is not easily going to run away from everything they have already put into place. As far as if you want to write a script, they have already got the template down for you. You need to have this happen on page 1, this on page 10, this on page 30, this on page 60, this on page 90, and this for the ending. You need it or they won't even take it. Sometimes they'll just even chuck it in the trash if it doesn't have a certain setup. And it's so bad once you learn how they write screenplays, it's hard to enjoy movies. Because once you start seeing it play out, you know, oh, I'm at the 90-minute mark because this happened. And it's bad. Like, Hollywood is worse than you think because they constantly write it all the same. All the movies are written the same. John Bernthal's in Baby Driver? I think I knew that, but I forgot. I feel like I knew that, but I've totally forgot. I was surprised that you all decided to do issue 1 variants now instead of waiting until after more issues had come out. Yeah, well, the whole idea was there was a month in between issue 1 and issue 2, and we weren't doing anything for that month. But since it's a new story and we're an independent company and it's just a new startup, we didn't want people thinking, oh, we just have issue 1. So the idea was, even in promoting it, we got issue 1, and we have something coming up. In 1 month, we have the variants. It's coming, yada, yada, yada. With the variants, we will be able to, because we are paying that set price, and we're not buying in big bulk, we're paying a little more, but we will be easy. It will be easier for us to just print off a second print if the variants do well, and then in a month or 2 people are still wanting variants, we can order another batch, throw it on the website, and then constantly be selling some of the variants. So the main idea was to always have something. Issue 1, the day and night variants, issues 2 and 3, and then we have the issue 3 variant coming. But hopefully we can do that at the same time. That would be cool. I was thinking of doing a single parent guide to survival videos, personal experiences, how-to guide of saving money and living good for next to nothing. Single parent guide to survival videos. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. YouTube viewers are into shit like that. You know, you get it going just right, people will definitely check it out. Have you ever thought about reading Game of Thrones books or audiobooks? I thought about it, but it's too big. I don't even have time now every day to get my script typed up. There's some days where I'm like, you know, John's like, did you type up page whatever yet? And I'm like, no, I'll do it in the morning because there's no time. So I wouldn't have any time to read it. But I will one day. I'm sure I will. I was surprised that you just, oh, okay, we already did that. I was thinking, I watched Baby Driver because my daughter loves the main actor. I really enjoyed it. Great driving. Yeah, I'm going to check it out. Ronnie, I'm so glad I saw your tweet about the live. I didn't know you made a second channel. Yeah, this is supposed to be a Patreon, but we did the Patreon, and there was only like 2 people in it. So I said, let's open it up on the new channel, and then I'll advertise it so people have something to go and watch. and then more people will jump on, because once we get more people on Ronny Haze, I got videos for this channel, and then you guys will see some different type of videos coming on this channel that just don't fit on the map channel. Man, I watched it. It was celebrating 100,000 subscribers. Such a great speech. I personally, yeah, that's the video. Yeah, I personally would always follow map. I appreciate that. Listen, it's going to take people to do that. And I know it sounds like a dick thing to say, but it's kind of like I legitimately, there's nothing special about me. I've made mistake after mistake, even being like street smart or clever. Like, I'm not a dumbass, you know. I've done dumb shit, sure. But I've made mistakes, either an ego thing, not giving a fuck thing. There's a good solid, what, 10 years where I just didn't give a fuck, you know, and I just put myself in a hole. So there's nothing special about me. The only thing I have talent-wise, I feel, is creativity. That's the one thing. And again, it's hard to talk about that without sounding a little bit egotistical. But the trade-off is, I'm saying, guys, I feel like I can write a story you're going to want to read, a film, a movie, or a little webisode, a little skit that you're going to want to watch. As long as we build up the right group, the right atmosphere, group, workers, collaborators, as long as we build this right, I guarantee you I can lead us into the direction where we're producing content that we want to see, even if it's on a small scale at first. And then we got our Hollywood movies, that's fine. But I'm telling you what, I want to do things that are definitely different, you know, outside of the box from Hollywood. Some really crazy shit down the line. And the idea solely relies, unless I win the lottery, the idea solely relies on the support from the community as a whole. You know what I'm saying? So you won't believe how much I appreciate that. Like, everyone who wants to support Matt for the future, not just for what it's producing today. You were right about getting 20 folks for this one. Yeah, I told you there'd be about 20, right? Ronnie, you have such a good commentary about movies, acting, plot, protagonists, themes, connections, Easter eggs. You often see things we don't. You know, if it wasn't for reading so many of the not the how-to books, but there's behind the scenes, the screenplays. I've taken courses on screenplays, and I still miss stuff. Like, it doesn't matter if you're tired or not looking, or you just plain miss it. You'll miss stuff. You'll mistranslate stuff. And it's worse when you're, like, with fear, I'm there, but I lose interest. Like, you know, there's certain things that happen, and I'm just like, I don't even remember that. You know, so that's why I want to focus more on all the stuff, the content that I really love, because it's easier to dive in. Like with Game of Thrones, I enjoy rewatching, but I'll tell you this right now, I don't enjoy the history. I don't enjoy going back and figuring out this person, and that person. What I did enjoy was rewatching all the seasons from 1 to 7 over again. And now I'm like, boom, character names and their history, the background, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's so much clearer now. I understand it a lot more now. That's what I'm interested in. So it's tricky. You can do good. Like, I really appreciate the compliments. And pretty much anybody could get there. If you're interested in movies, just look at how they put them together. A lot of people are the same. The easiest quote to remember is, if you show a gun on the table, you have to use the gun. Think about that now. When you start watching every single scene, good writing, right? A bad movie will film random shit, and you'll be like, what is going on? Any scene you watch, anything a character says, there's a reason for that. That's how it gets a little easier trying to pinpoint certain things within the script and breaking it down, because everything has a point, and you just look at, well, why would they show the lock on that door being fidgety? And then you know, that's because the lock's going to break off or something. I think your passion for this is special. You make people believe in you and your ideas. I appreciate that, and I need that. I really need that. This is rough. This is stuff they used to do back in the day in Hollywood. And I can't stand when people say that YouTube, even though people collect ridiculous amounts of money on YouTube for ass content, YouTube is the modern day Hollywood. There's no way The only way you don't know that is if you don't know the history of Hollywood. To this day, if you want to make... When I was studying on how to produce my own independent films and stuff, the number one thing was to go to dentists and doctors in Hollywood, to go around and get people that weren't in the industry to finance your film. They do that then. There's no difference between going to Hollywood and asking your dentist or someone you know in the area but not connected in the industry because they know, you know. There's no difference between that and somebody on YouTube saying, I want to create this thing, and then gathering funds. It's literally the same thing as Hollywood did. Hollywood ran. Hollywood was getting just beaten up by using the photo machine, whatever was recording. I think it was Thomas Edison had the patent. It's been a long time since I heard this story, but he had a patent and he was suing everyone using it, making movies. So everyone moved to California because the laws weren't established there. So then they can make the movies without him suing them and shutting it down. So Hollywood ran from lawsuits, did something illegal in a different state where they didn't have jurisdiction, and then they started asking other people. Even to this day, rich, filthy rich people get other people's money to create entertainment. Because then if you lose some, or you lose a little, or you don't put yourself in the poorhouse, you don't use all your money, yet people still come on YouTube and give YouTube creators a hard time for saying, I want to create something, let's fund it, you know? And again, I don't blame it on some of them, because there's some people doing ass content. There's some people just scamming, people that aren't being truthful. And that's why, like I said, I take a lot of pride in saying we have this comic and then we receive thousands of dollars and then we ship those thousands of dollars worth of product out to people. You know, I take a lot of pride in that. And like I said, as of right now, we don't have one complaint issue. If something was raised, it wasn't raised to us. And again, if someone has a complaint, doomsdaykingdom@gmail.com. We're there, bro. We got you. I gave up. Wait, where are we at? Would you ever do any other comic, like different titles? Would you ever? I will not change the title at Doomsday Kingdom. You know, if we went with a publisher and they were like, anything title-wise, because that is an issue. With the title, Image doesn't really go hands-on, and according to what they say. But if they do believe that the title won't resonate with customers as well, or they could come up with a better one, if that is the only case where I'd buckle. But if it was just, I don't know. I mean, no offense. Like, if it was just like you just didn't straight like the title, like, I'm not changing it, you know. It's tricky, though, because there might be 10 people that love the title, and then you're telling me you hate the title, which that's absolutely fine. There's some stuff that, you know, different movies and shows and comics or whatever, where I'm not thrilled by the title, but it's like, it is what it is. There could be better titles out there, but it is what it is. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't like Fear the Walking Dead. I thought that was kind of a weak way, but I understood, oh, it has The Walking Dead in the title. It's all right. But if we go to the publisher and they say, you know, we need a different title to get that search results, to get people interested, to get people knowing it's this type of yada yada yada. Yeah, for the greater good and the success of the comic, I'd change the title, you know, if we had to, sure. Map is, but there's still going to be the damn chapter called Doomsday Kingdom. It's one of the most important chapters in the story. Map is the future. I don't know. That's too broad, bro. Let's say the future of independent entertainment. How's that? That sounds pretty good. It's got a little ring to it. And again, I'm not talking like, oh, let's be the next thing to take over everything in entertainment. No, they can. Hollywood can have all their shit. Everyone else that has companies, they can have all their shit. I'm simply talking about being a respectable size, but making entertainment that we can put on this platform or other platforms or our own platform, or even sell them in different ways, either digital, yada yada yada, where it's like we're our own separate little beast, off and away from everybody else. You know, I'm not saying let's fight and get our stuff put in theaters and yada yada yada. I have different ideas, but I do believe there's a way to carve out something of our own where we're not stepping on toes, we're not asking to be in theaters, we don't have to worry about releases and distribution. And these have to do with different business ideas as well, where we can have a platform and yada yada yada. You know, I won't bore you with the specifics, but that's the direction I want to go. I want us to have our little thing where we are fans creating content, you know, for other fans. So I like wait, Uncle Ted is a Fez. What? Was Ghoul School on in your time on WNEP? No, I have no idea what that is. I know that's the news station, right? I don't know what Uncle Ted is a Fez. I don't know what that is. I like a show / book that seems very realistic, true to the rules of the world if it's based in. That's one thing that I will not buckle with. The realism established in anything I do, it needs to be grounded within the rules of that world. Absolutely. I gave up on Fear, but I'll still click on the vids you make about it. Laugh out loud. I appreciate that support. I definitely do. I need people who gave up on Fear and they come and support me, because it's so split, you know. People who like Fear, they get offended that I don't like it, and then they just say, "Oh, this, you hate it because you keep comparing it to The Walking Dead." When I don't compare it to The Walking Dead, it's like I dare you to go find where I compare it, and if I do compare it, I'll straight up tell you I compared it. So yeah, I need all the support I can get. The best thing happening, and when I mean compare though, just because you say The Walking Dead or you talk about something in the original show, that's actually not a comparison. An example and a comparison, two totally different things. Like I can compare, what was the one? Oh shit, Glenn's maybe almost death in No Way Out versus compared to Alicia's scene where everyone was, you know, out of breath. The tension, I can compare the tension. That's a comparison. An example would be like, well, you know, The Walking Dead did this, you know, as an example. The best thing happening for creative storytelling now is Amazon Prime, Netflix, and new platforms popping up to replace network television. Long-term vision, map material there. Yeah, that is very true. Interesting thing, someone just told me today that Netflix is operating in the red. Like they are just, that's why they're raising their rates and stuff. And they are hemorrhaging money. Hemorrhaging, why can't I say that? They are bleeding out. I don't know how true that is. I haven't, it was the cashier when I was buying the Here's Negan. He was talking about it to someone in front of me. Back hurts. I don't know how true that is, but I absolutely agree. There's things, I don't have Amazon Prime, so I don't know anything on there, but I hear more and more people talking about it. But the ideas I have are very similar to those. And also being a part of those. Like I do want to sell a screenplay, maybe to Netflix, maybe even to Skybound if they want to continue doing movies. I have these different ideas that I don't want to sit down and film them myself. It's like, okay, here's a screenplay. I want to finally sell my first screenplay. Let me go to these companies that are probably more interested in that new, fresh material that Hollywood's not constantly regurgitating. Because Hollywood would take it and they would say, okay, there's no this on issue 30. There's no this on issue 60. Let's change it around and da-da-da-da. Mustang, Tiger. Are there any shows you would like to talk about more on this channel but just don't have time? Yeah, I think there's probably a handful I would probably, well, I don't know, shows? I did want to talk about Preacher, but I didn't even have time to watch it, so I didn't even end up watching Preacher. But movies, I think, more. And I think that would give me the opportunity to watch more movies if I had the excuse that I was going to talk about them. But I would like to talk about more movies, definitely. I tell my girl that with every movie we watch, anytime I see a weapon or like in the movie Signs where there always shows cups of water that eventually kills the aliens. Yeah, there's everything, like I said, everything they show you, you could start to pinpoint, oh, that's what they're going to use. Hey, Ronnie, your comic, how many issues is going to be? Right now, 200 will be the complete story. But that's a give or take. Like, I don't know if it'll be 205 or 190. 200 is the rough outline right now. And again, that has a lot to do with if I get to there's a big event that happens in the story. If we get to that big event and I'm like, oh, you know what? I overestimated a good 30 issues. We only have 150 to complete the story. It'll be 150. But it'll be at least 10 years of my life, you know, to tell this story in completion. And a good reason to, like, even if they made that into a movie or a TV show, I really don't think you'd get the same impact, because how much time passes it's crucial to a specific part of the story. So you reading for 5 years, 6 years, and then getting to that moment where the timeline is crucial, I think it'll go over better. It'll have more of an emotional connection and impact. So yeah, I think that's definitely important, but it's a hit or miss. But right now it's outlined to about 200. I'm sad I'm always late for the live streams. Laugh out loud. Notifications on, but never got them. You wouldn't get notifications for this. This is I only sent this out to the social media. This is Ronny Haze channel. So anyone who didn't know that now, this is Ronny Haze channel. Subscribe to, because we're going to be doing more on this channel. And I don't know. Yeah, if you subscribe, you'll get notifications. I don't know if I'm going to be able to post this on, you know, Twitter all the time or something. What is this? Hey, comic issue. And the reason for that is, guys, we did a Patreon stream, but I got to set up. It's my fault completely. I need to set up a day all the time. And then we'll do that because no one showed up to the Patreon thing, so I just opened it up to the public on the Ronny Haze thing. I'm excited for map. Well, people showed up, but there was only like 3 of us. I'm excited for map originality. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Ronny, this might be personal, but how much money is needed for creating an issue of Doomsday Kingdom? There's no way I can... yeah, there's no way I can come up with that. Yeah, I have no idea. Do you mean printing it? And who usually pays that? I don't know what you mean. Printing per issue? And who pays that? You guys do. You guys buy it. See, if you mean like people working in comics, that's very different from what we're doing. What we're doing is, it's my time writing the stories, creating the characters, creating layouts for how everything goes. Whatever is necessary. Sometimes the layouts are real simple, sometimes they're real complicated. But I'm writing the story. That's my time. That time would normally go into working or working on the channel or anything else I could do to provide, you know. So that essentially is time you would get paid for, but I'm not counting that right now. In my opinion, I'm investing in the future. And then with the artist, he spends, you know, a day drawing the whole page, another day or 2 days, sometimes 3, depending on how complicated they are, coloring them, well, inking and then coloring, and then we got to set up the comic, with the format the comic. There's a lot that goes into that. We set up the interior pages, we do the copyright stuff, we do all the bullshit on the back end. Yeah, there's setting up the website. I mean, and it's time-consuming stuff. You're not lifting 70 pounds of you know, feed or shingles or something, carrying it up a ladder. But yeah, it's all our time, so it's not money, you know. There's no money going into it. It's our time. So if we take off of work, like I took 2 weeks straight off of work just to ship the comics. I myself had to ship out 300, and it, you know, it takes a few hours just to get the stuff picked. Yeah, I don't know what you mean. If you just mean printing it, that's also different. It'll range between $4 to sometimes $7, and that's including the shipping. You're paying shipping, and that's per issue, you know. If you buy in bulk, you'll get it like $3.50 per issue, $3.21 printing it per issue. It's in color. If it's in black and white, I think you're only paying like $1.80. But again, if you're buying a huge bulk, you could probably get it for $3 or $2.81, I think. Hey Ika, gotta watch Preacher, Ronny. Oh, I'm gonna get there. I think Sci-Fi Network's World Def pick up Doomsday. I won't work with Sci-Fi Networks. I won't. I think Eddie, I seen you mention that before, and I just kind of was like, oh, all right. And I don't mean to be a picky bitch, but there's nothing on Sci-Fi that has any quality that I'm like my personal taste or interested in. Is Sharknado a movie that I know Doomsday Kingdom will be their star show or a movie? Yeah, like there's the only problem I have though is everything they produce, there's no movies or shows or whatever. I always watch them and like I can't stand Sharknado. I get the whole it's bad good thing, but even like Z Nation, I can't even think of anything else they produce. You know, I probably wouldn't go that route. Because in all honesty, and it's not like I'm better than you, Sci-Fi, I don't believe they would put the money needed towards it that is necessary. I don't think they could. I don't think they could bring it out. But I definitely appreciate the support, and I definitely know like I probably sound like a cocky little bitch. Maybe Sci-Fi's done something that I just don't know of yet, but I don't know. I just see Sci-Fi shows as kind of like a different version of CW. I don't know. It's so weird. I don't know how to explain how shows look different to me. You know, maybe I'm weird. Melanie Grimes, I know exactly what you mean. I just happened to look at my emails just before work and I saw my email. Oh man, I'm subbed. Must be YouTube glitch. I just knew he was on because I saw a Facebook post. Oh nice. I mean the whole thing, like printing, drawing, storytelling, and all the things that takes time. Oh yeah, there's no way I could. A lot. Look, a lot. We didn't even though we're doing good, you know, we're not even close. We're not even anywhere close to the amount of time and even costs as far as profits coming in. Not even close. Like it's embarrassingly, insanely way off. The only reason I say we're doing better than other people, it's because of a number of factors, but it's mainly because of the channel and being able to promote it in the way. But if you said, okay, count up all the time that you were working on it while not actually being at work, or even time where you took off days of work and then doing some work on the comic, we're talking just hours upon hours upon hours, and that's including me and the artist. The artist got to sit down and do all the posters, all the art for the comic, and it's not just you draw it. He's got to draw it, then put it into the computer. Even when it comes to the lettering, you know, I did the lettering, and that still was time consuming. A lot more time consuming than I thought. I think it took me a few weeks just to figure out the software and stuff. It takes a lot, but again, for me, I keep saying we are doing better and we are massively successful in my eyes because I'm not counting the time I put into it. For me, it's an investment, and I feel like James feels the same way. So I just don't count the time I put into it. But if you did count it the way you're looking at it, yeah, don't plan on actually making your money's worth hours you put into it for probably a long time. I mean the whole thing, like printing. But as far as printing, it matters on the bulk. Again, anywhere from 280 something, give or take, a 180 maybe if you're getting black and white, up to maybe 7. And the 280, that's not counting shipping. If you buy in bulk and they charge you 280, you still have to pay $700 for shipping. Shit you not, because you're buying in bulk. So you're paying out so if you add that into it, you're probably paying, like I think we were paying $380, $350 for each single comic to print on a good day. And that's why we lost selling comics only, because then we put them in a bag and board. Each bag and board costs us like, you know, 10 cents or something. That's 20. Now we're up to $4. We're selling it for $4. And we straight lost with comic only sales. Yeah. Anyway. I think he means I think he means to make sure a comic succeeds and what fans can do supporting it. It takes a lot. If we didn't have this channel, Doomsday Kingdom wouldn't have went anywhere. It's hard. It's real hard. But you gotta go into it knowing that. I don't want to say that it's hard, don't do it. If you want to make a comic, you need to go, okay, this is gonna be hard. I need some nights, like I stayed up till 5 in the morning. for a lot of nights, and then I'm waking up, 7:45 in the morning, make sure my daughter's going to school, and we're talking for weeks on straight doing that shit. Maybe every now and then you could take an hour nap during the day. Like, you got to put in that work. James was inspired to sketch her her star says something about getting caught up. Yep. Oh, preacher. When the season 2 of Westworld comes out, I think that should be soon. When you do a DK live stream, it would be cool if Jim could be here with all of us. I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to get that so we could do Google Hangouts, and then Jim could be here too. Melanie isn't a fan of sci-fi channel either. Not your cup of tea. Yeah, it's just a different, the way they film it, the way it looks, HBO or Netflix, they would be good choices. If it was a successful comic right now, like really hot, I think HBO or Netflix would be a good pick. Or at least I'd be curious. But then again, like I said, we got a long time before we need to worry about that. What version of movie studio do you use? Vegas or question mark? No, it's the Movie Studio Platinum. But what type of music are you into? Used to be rap, but I don't know what the fuck happened to hip hop. Holy shit! So I listen to Tupac. Rap and rappers nowadays. Holy fuck! It's a goddamn embarrassment. Jesus, my daughter could probably kick most of their front and asses. Thanks, Ronnie. Appreciate it, man. No problem, bud. Loves you and James pages in the comic. Oh, thank you. Westworld 2018. 2018? Seriously? Who's Juliet's mom? Some junkie bitch. 2018? Are you serious? God damn. We got Outcast 2018. We got that 2018. The Last of Us 2 2019. Ay. That's crazy. Let me see here. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Alright, Westworld should be late spring, early summer. Damn, really? Would you make another project in the future, just like Doomsday Kingdom? Yes and no. I got a lot of projects lined up. I got The Mentor is something I would love to do. Life Among Them is something I would like to do, which is a realistic look on people with superpowers. And again, this is something I would love to do, but with the actual oversaturation of superheroes and shit like that, like, this is really different. There's just something, and it's following the origin story of like an actual villain, but it is nothing even close to anything we've ever gotten before as far as superheroes, or even Logan. Like, Logan was, dark and realistic, but this is just something just different that we've never gotten before. There's one with a father-daughter. I wanted to make like a memory thing. What is that called? Like in memory of? No, that's like a death thing. Like a tribute to my daughter. But the movie doesn't have anything to do with my daughter, but it was a guy and his daughter, and it's the government was coming for him. It's all I could really say in it, but put it this way, he has some type of ability, and the government's coming for him, but he's trying to take his daughter on the run to this place. But there's one scene specifically I know towards the end, and I see how to film it, and I'm like, my God, that is like one of the most iconic scenes or moments. Like, if I was able to do that, that's how confident I would feel in that one scene alone. That one scene is just like, what? But it's great, though. It's just so interesting. That's one I would... That's rough. And again, with comics, there'd be something I would like to do, but it would have to be if we're already set and established and I could just sit down and pump out this script for this idea I have and then get another writer to do it. A little more lenient. It's not something I would be as detailed on. As far as with Doomsday Kingdom, I make sure the rooms are the room has to look like this, it has to be this, because it's already written out. It's been written out for, you know, I started it over a decade ago, so some of it is polished to where I know what exactly the room has to look like, because there's a fight or an altercation, or they return to that location, you know, in 10 issues from now. So I need it to look a certain way with certain entrances. But the other one, it would have to be a little more looser of a collaboration where I could just, here's the script, have fun with yada yada yada. Not saying that what we have now is stiff, but there's a lot more that goes into Doomsday Kingdom, just because you can't tell now with the story, even in issue 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But what you see, there's certain parts that will actually intertwine later on. So I really got to play with the timeline and know every day, every hour that goes by, I really need to know that I'm accounting for it. Yes, Tupac Bones Thugs were the greatest. I miss those days. Yeah, Sci-Fi sucks. I just figured you can debo them to making the project a hit. It's possible. It's possible. You never know. I could be talking out my ass, and that might be the perfect home for it. You never know. Westworld should be late spring. Oh, ouch. What are a few things that you wish you had known 3 months ago about releasing your own successful comic book? A few things that I wish I knew 3 months ago about releasing your own successful comic book. You know what? I would have to say the catch-22 with releasing it, because I've branched out and had some conversations. James branched out and had some conversations, and one of the a little more frustrating catch-22s is hearing they want you to show that you can do it. But then when you show that you can do it, there's the worry that you've already sold it too much, and you won't be able to sell issue 1 if you had to re-put it in stock. That would be, and I've talked about that before, that would be one thing I would like to. I still would have done what we did, though, because my plan is to, boom, here, we can do this on our own, but, you know, for longevity of the story, we can't do the shipping for every single issue. You know, do you guys want to pick it up? Can we go with this publisher? The idea is to build something where we had enough leverage, where we weren't desperate and just went with the first publisher. This way we can pick and choose, you know, what publisher we want to go with. And I think we need open options, because this is a story that it has to go down a certain way. Like I said, I'm already stuck on it. I don't mind tweaking some things here and there, like making sure it goes on the rack if I got to change the title or something like that. I won't be happy about it. You never know. I still have a couple titles hidden away or chapters, you know, that are titles that I could use. You never know. Sci-Fi sucks. Westworld. I know a lot of people said that it should have been the feeding post. A lot of people for a long time saying that. But my own problem is, even though the feeding post is very important to the story and we revisit it a number of times, it's only in the comic for like 5 issues total out of like 200, maybe 7 issues, because there's a point in time where they're in that area for a few days. It might be in there longer. There might be like 12 issues where the feeding post in that surrounding area is actually in the issues, depending on how long those scripts go. But anything in between those has nothing to do with the feeding post, so I couldn't really call it that. God of War comes out 2018 too. Do you watch any sports? No, I'm not a big fan of sports. But I'm glad you do agree. I own Preacher #1. You promoting actually helps a really great show. Channel should cover. Wouldn't hurt my #1 value. Wait, you promoting actual helps a really great show. Channel show cover. I don't know what the fuck you just said. I'll take your word for it, though. Yeah, Preacher, I definitely want to revisit. I know Haze is not your last name. Is it a nickname? Sure. My street name for when I was selling weed. I also, Biggie and Snoop, also like The Rock. I can't wait till my Doomsday Kingdom art prints and comics gain value. I check eBay every once in a while to see if someone is selling any of your stuff. I'm gonna start putting stuff up there. Do you like Eminem? Are you willing to say Eminem is the GOAT, greatest of all time? I like Eminem. I like Eminem a lot. He put out that Donald Trump. I thought that was a little silly and ridiculous. Yeah, I like old Eminem. Just stick with, you know, talking about killing your girlfriend. And again, I did not. Yeah, and politics is retarded. I wish celebrities, I would just prefer if they stay out of it, you know. Even when they're right, they could be right, you know. It's absolutely right, but even when they're right, it's still entertain me and shut the fuck up. and if Doomsday Kingdom is successful, I expect you guys to tell me that. There's at a certain point where you just gotta, you know, support the good causes, but I don't know. I just can't stand celebrities. I can't stand them. Like they'll have, even when they, what was that one image going around? I hope it's not true, but Katy Perry's talking about the wall, and then she has this massive gate wall around her house, and it's like, listen, dumb bitch, just sing, okay? Let us argue, us regular Joes argue about what needs to be done or not. I like that. And again, I'm not saying whether the wall is right or wrong. I feel like it is more of a complex issue. There's serious problems. There's serious problems with our money, debt, what our money goes to. There's serious problems with immigration. There's serious problems, all that stuff. And it's not as simple as saying, they're all good, let them over, or they're all bad, keep them away. It's just not that simple. And it shouldn't be. I like a little of everything from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. Yeah, I like oldies songs too. Promoting a great show is meant to be said. Oh, hey Ronnie, what do you think can damage The Walking Dead? Killing Rick. My fucking man. What up, Ronnie? Yeah, you know what? I hear my daughter. She snuck into the back room. She never went to bed, so somebody's getting her butt kicked. I gotta shut it down anyway. I got an appointment friggin' first thing in the morning. My fucking man. What up, Ronnie? Q. What up, Paul? Will Doomsday Kingdom feature any Easter eggs from pop culture or any fandom in American culture? It'll have a lot of Easter eggs. Almost every single one of my favorite movies, you know, I said before, Predator, Aliens, The Walking Dead, the old Night of the Living Dead, there's at least something. And there's, like, the Predator one, no one's going to get. I don't think it's that subtle. I don't think anyone's going to get it. There might be some people, but I think that's going to be one where people read later on, or I talk about later on, and then they, oh, I see what you mean. I see, you know? But yeah, there's going to be a lot of Easter eggs. Hey, must be a Ronnie. Listen, we're going to shut this down, but I do want to say, for those on the Patreon, I don't know why I messed that up. For those on Patreon and for those interested in Patreon, I definitely think I agree with those who said we should have a set day and time for always. That way it's always yada, yada, yada. Which does get a little tricky because my schedule bounces around a whole lot, you know. But I think that's best to have a set day and time where we can sit down and do the show. My main question to those interested in the Patreon is it better earlier or better later? Like if everyone said earlier during the middle of the day, which I just find weird because if people are at work, but then again, people work at night. What if people are on Patreon and they work at nighttime, you know, every single first Wednesday, second Wednesday? So I want to ask you guys, if you can, give me some rough suggestions on earlier during the day, later, you know, around the 8 or 9 p.m. time slot, Wednesdays, Thursdays, yeah, give me ideas like that. It can't really be Mondays or Sunday. We already do the after show for The Walking Dead. Monday, I'm already putting together the in-depth review for that. Wednesday's a little tricky because The Walking Dead comic comes out. So it's like kind of like a Thursday-ish. I think that's a good spot. So you guys give me stuff. I can't like what you say I can't just go with. I'm going to have to hear from different people on Patreon. And we'll try to come to something that suits a lot of different people and is a little bit flexible. So that way if we want to switch things around, we can. But give me some ideas and we'll do that. We'll set a day, you know what I mean? And like I said, it'll be the first, if we do Thursday, it'll be the first Thursday every month and then the last Thursday every month. So tier 5 is the first tier 10 is the last. And yes, we are going to post the $30 you know, award and then do like credits or something. I think that's been the most requested recently, is having credits in the videos at the end of the video, having the names come up. All right, late night streams are perfect, like 8 or 9. Yeah, they kind of fit good for me too. I gotta get, yeah, later streams. Okay, nice surprise stream. Thanks for chatting with us. I have an early appointment too. Good night, Ronnie. All right, thank you very much for stopping by, Melissa. Yeah, early morning sucks, doesn't it? I prefer late night streams. Yeah, we'll do that. What's a scary movie that you can watch today and it still scares you? Almost nothing. And I hate it because I love being scared. Like, scary movies and being scared is my all-time favorite thing. Absolutely. I think actually scary, it's rough because slasher movies aren't scary, ghosts aren't scary. I watched Lights Out the other day and I thought I was just gonna lose brain cells. It was that dumb. It has creepy moments. Like, the idea is creepy. But if you didn't watch it before, the one part where I just said, I had enough of this dumb shit, is when the whole time, when the light goes on, the fucking ghost goes away. Later in the movie, you find out it's not a ghost. Yeah, spoiler alert. It's a real person / ghost, because every time you turn on the light, she goes away. But then there's a moment where she catches her hand in the door and turns the light on, and it burns her. And it's like, she was never burning before. She was disappearing before. What the fuck are you doing? So, Lights Out was absolutely retarded. I would have to say, like, The Thing, that was an awesome one. That shit's scary, being out there, having a thing that can, you know, mimic people and shit like that. That's terrifying. Jaws, stuff like that, that is scary. That's where my fear lies. Something that can actually happen, but it's filmed in a good way. You know, a guy in a mask running around's not scary. I always have a weapon on me, so I'm not really afraid of that, you know? What else? Yeah, I don't know. It's rough. And again, like I said, I don't believe in ghosts. They're just not real. And it's not something that I can suspend my disbelief on. Like with zombies, even though zombies aren't real, the thought of being eaten alive, being devoured, I mean, that shit is painful. It's suspenseful. You know, you have this mob after you, and there's no talking them out of it. The end of the world, there's no cops coming to your rescue. There's no fire department. There's no, you know, cell phones. There's no phones. There's no getting in touch with family. There's not knowing where your family is. If shit goes wrong now, do you go towards your grandparents, your parents, your, you know, siblings? Do you go towards your cousins? Who do you go to first? And then once you find them, then what do you do? What happens if you get sick during the apocalypse, you know? Your appendix bursts or something, you're screwed. I mean, that's terrifying. So I like those sorts of scary movies. When it comes to movies that are marketed as being scary, yeah, I just usually look for like a couple creepy scenes. Like, It wasn't scary at all. Like, maybe a creepy scene or two, but it was more annoying with the jump scares than it was actually being scary. I just look at it as looking cool, like a cool evil clown. Anyway, I find scary on a psychological level. Yeah, definitely. Can't wait for you and Jim to meet each other. Yeah, in person. That'd be great. It would be cool if we could do that at a convention. All right, I got to say, thank you very much for everyone coming out, and we are going to get together and figure something out for sure with the Patreon streams. I had this in the background because I was going to talk about this article on Forbes about The Walking Dead. Maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow. Forbes guy just shit talks The Walking Dead premiere. But everyone else said if you're a fan of The Walking Dead, you're going to end up liking it. So I think this article is another hit piece from Forbes. What else is new? And then there's Doomsday Kingdom right there. Boom. That's the cover. Badass, ain't it? All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And then I'll see you guys here probably tomorrow. I got another vid lined up. Hopefully I can get that posted. All right. Good night.